Welcome back to the Stephen A. Show. Adam, how's it going?
It's going good, Steven. How are you guys?
Can't complain. How's the weather in DC?
It's cold, but you know what? It snowed this morning, but then it turned into rain by this afternoon, and by this evening it was like in the mid to upper 30s, which is good for this time of year. So
Yeah,
it's not bad, all
well,
things considered.
we're good. All right, well, let y'all get take it away.
Sure thing. So I don't know about you, Chike, but I feel like we're finally getting back into the groove of at least movies worth watching coming out.
Yes, yes,
This
yes, yes.
this past weekend, I only got to see one movie, but there was a lot of good stuff. Minari, which if it's about this South Korean family moving to build a farm in Arkansas in the 80s, has been getting a lot of hype. I Care a Lot, which is the latest Rosamund Pike movie where she plays a con artist that tricked the elderly into giving her guardianship so she can take their money, and then she kind of meets her match, and this latest person's like the unexpected person. uh, and then even like on the Disney Plus side, there's this Flora and Ulysses about this girl who finds a squirrel with superpowers. And of course, little fun hijinks occur. So, a lot of good stuff coming out right now. We're finally getting in the groove. The movie I saw was Nomad Land, and this is the
Mm.
latest movie starring Frances McDormand about a woman in her 60s in about 2011 that lives in her van. So her husband's passed away after the Great Recession, and the town that she lived in shut down essentially because it held a plant that was there for manufacturing and mining. And so it's really her story, and it is a slice of life movie, so there's not really a plot per se, but it's really just about how she goes about her life. She works part time at an Amazon plant during the holidays, then she drives to another park, and she works with the park services to clean up campgrounds. And it's really about this kind of unseen or maybe underseen side of kind of the American Midwest of people who live in vans or live in RVs and just travel from place to place with no homes in particular, but really just to kind of be out there and work little jobs and just kind of keep going on and support each other in the community. So it was a pretty good movie. Again, don't expect too much plot wise. And Frances McDormand, as we know from Fargo, from Three Billboards, everything she does is great. And she really sells this authenticity of someone that is living in her van and just going from place to place to place on kind of an endless cycle with her life. So it's on Hulu. So if you have a subscription, it's free to watch. But if you're in the mood for it, I would definitely highly recommend it. Um, Again, it just gives you that picture of kind of a US that you don't normally see.
Hmm. Nice. Yeah, Frances McDormand, she normally picks pretty good projects. She's been
Hmm.
solid with the type of work she does. I like her as an artist.
Yep.
I actually saw, there's four things I'm going to talk about. The first thing being I streamed my first virtual play over the weekend. And the play is called Sin Eaters, and it's out of the Theater Exile House out of Philadelphia. And my buddy and my other business partner, David Rain, him and his partner, B. Jean No, star in it. And Senators is a story about a woman who takes on a job as um, I guess, a protector of for content on social media, where basically she sifts through all of the content to take out all the bad stuff before the public gets to see it. So she has to absorb a lot of negativity, and it's
Hmm.
like stuff of depravity, and it starts to affect her in a very profound way, and she starts to flip out, and how that affects her home life, with David's character being her partner, and how that affects him and the dynamics of their home. More so than for me the storyline, because the storyline was very good. It read to me like a thriller. It's more like a thriller, and
Hmm.
it was really intense. Like you were really they drew you in. But what was more dynamic than the storyline for me is the fact that This is a production that was basically a play, and it's done in David and Bijan was able to do it in their home, in their basement, and they has a tenant that lives there that happens to be a cinematographer. So they were basically able to pull it off,
Nice.
basically using just two rooms in their home, and it came off without a hitch. And it really did feel like I was watching a play. There was a couple scenes when she goes to work where the scene changes, where it does seem like she's somewhere else,
Hmm.
and that part even felt like it was a part of the play. I gave the two. I actually interviewed them on my other show, and I gave them two kudos because they pulled it off seamlessly. It was just them and their little crew. They did not have a whole bunch of people. All the rehearsals and stuff that they did, it was over Zoom meetings. They did by iPhone and laptops. It was pretty ingenious. If you could check it out, go to theaterexile.org and order your tickets. It's only going to be running until the 28th. And you have 48 hours in that purchase to watch it. It's really, really good. I would not send you there to watch it if it was trash. You know me.
Oh,
Check
that's
it out.
awesome. Yeah, I was just about to ask if I
Um,
could watch it, so that's
yeah,
good to know.
yeah, check that out. Again, theaterexile.org. It's called Sin Eaters. So the next film that I saw. It's called Bloodlines and Bami, and this is the Grace Jones documentary. This had been out for a while, and I just haven't seen it. And I had all intentions on seeing it. I just didn't know where I could see because it was in the theaters, and then it wasn't. It disappeared. But I found it on Amazon Prime, and I've always been fascinated with Grace Jones because I just think that she's an iconic enigma. She does so much, and she's so out there, and she's so brazen, but you don't really know much about her personal life. And the fact that she decided to do a documentary, I wanted to jump on that to get to learn more about her. And basically, she goes back home to Jamaica, and you get to meet her family. And she's a mother, she's a grandmother, and they show her in her home life, but they also show her on tour, and she's basically performing. And I've never seen a Grace Jones show ever in my life, but she's a dynamic performance artist. It's not just about the music, and it's
Hmm.
not just about the aesthetic, it's the combination. And she creates these illusions on stage. And you know Grace Jones, I mean, everyone that's seen Boomerang knows Strange. You've seen her in her wildest, you've seen her in the Conan movies, you've seen her as the Bond girl. She's androgynous, she's out there, she's wacky. She used to be a supermodel. It's a lot to the lady,
Hmm.
but to see her on stage in her own element performing, these songs. And Grace, Miss Jones, please don't beat me up. She's not the best singer, but she's an awesome performer. And what I really enjoyed was the whole effect of everything that she was doing. So it's her performance plus the aesthetic, her costuming, the band, the stage presence, all of that stuff. It all works. It works out in her favor. I thought it was really good, and you got to see behind the scenes with her and see how she dealt with her bands and her being a boss lady and her being vulnerable when she talks about men and her
Hmm.
past, her childhood. It's really, really interesting. I really enjoyed it. So definitely check that out if you want to know more about Grace Jones. So I don't know if you've started watching any of the Wanda Vision yet on
No, so
Disney
no
Plus.
spoilers. Sorry.
Okay, I won't give any spoilers, but I will say this. When I first started watching WandaVision, I was like, what the hell is this? And I started to get upset because I take my comic stuff very seriously. And I was blown away after I got into maybe the third episode and I figured out what was going on. I'm like, oh, this is friggin' genius. I love what they did with the storyline. And this is post Thanos. This is
Hmm.
after Thanos. This is after the death of her love Vision. But it's called WandaVision. And of course, Vision is in WandaVision, but you have to see what's going on to understand it. And I won't say anymore, but I would definitely say check it out. I'm in love with how they're delivering this. I thought that they were thinking out of the box. They created a storyline that was very genuine and it reeled me in. So
Yeah.
definitely check that out.
Yeah, I've heard good things, and I'll wait till the whole season's over so I can just watch it over a weekend.
Yeah, don't let anybody tell you anything, because once you figure out what's going on, like if you figure out before you start watching it what's going on, it's going to spoil that thing for you.
Okay,
You need to have that thing where you have that realization, like, oh, you need to have that, because that's the artistic
moment.
experience. Yeah, you got to have that. So definitely check that out. And lastly, there is a documentary on HBO called Alabama Snake. And this follows the religious practices of an Appalachia town. It's called Scottsboro, Alabama. And the preacher's name is Glenn Summerford. Glenn Summerford was charged with attempted murder of his wife via rattlesnake. So he is a preacher, and they do the whole holiness, but they use serpents in their religious practices. And it's alleged that he tried to kill his wife, but he used one of the rattlesnakes as a weapon. And the documentary basically follows the story, and they get down to brass tacks of, did he really try to kill her? Was it an accident, or was he really trying to murder his wife? I think that it was very interesting, because that whole lifestyle, snake worshipers and snake charmers, and backwood Appalachia country, and it was just a little eerie, and also very interesting. I've always found folklore of Appalachia pretty interesting, and they talk a little bit about that in this movie. It's a little dark, but damn sure interesting. Nice. So check it out.
Nice.
You see something, Steven?
Huh?
Did you see something?
I did, but I never remember the name of stuff. I did see
Well, give us a synopsis and we can see if we can guess for you.
I'm trying to think what was the last thing I saw.
Guess that movie.
Oh yeah.
Right. No, I'm about to watch. BT has a new special. It started. I think it's like a 6-part series. It started over the weekend, and it's just talking about the race relations in this country and kind of what we all have to do to. So I'm gonna watch that tonight. The first part of that tonight, but yeah, I just put on something. I can't remember. I'm about to start writing it down.
Well, yeah, we'll wait till Big Brother comes back. Then you can have something to talk about.
Although 911 is back on tonight, and that's a really good show, by the way, with Angela Bassett. And they're really, a lot of these shows are really taking on the whole COVID situation. This Is Us is doing a great job with that. Queen Sugar's back. Did you watch that, Chike?
Yes, I did. I don't know how I could not talk about Queen Sugar.
Oh my God.
So it's speculation. I'm not going to talk about any of the plot of Queen Sugar right now. I'll wait for maybe a couple episodes when it really starts to pick up. But the big speculation is Miss Retina Wesley pregnant? Because in the first episode, she looks a little plump. If you're not pregnant, Retina, please forgive me. But
so she does look a little thicker, yeah.
Yeah, she looks a little. She's not wearing, the form-fitting clothing anymore. She looks a little.
But I'm sure they shot during quarantine, so she might have picked up some weight, like most of us.
That could be true. That could be true.
But anyway,
okay. I'll give you that.
Well, thank you guys as always. Let us know what to waste their time or not waste their time on, and have a great week.
Yeah, you too, Steven.
Go right back after this.